Now, can you hear me? Yes, you probably can. That was a test of your loyalty. Technical difficulties, of course. Better? I get to do my monologue all over again if you can hear me now. Yep. Great. All right. J-Bot, you want to draw with me tonight? Or are you out of town again? You seem to be out of town a lot. In fact, Dragon Pisces is out of town a lot. Both of you guys travel all the time. You're like world travelers. It's like every time I have a stream, it's like, yeah, I can't. I'm like traveling. I'm like, I wonder, where does Dragon Pisces go? Or where does J-Bot go when they're traveling? Are they traveling to exotic things? Maybe you guys are on secret missions for some like Black Project intelligence agency. So, but anyway, all right, let's see if I can get this straightened up here. Okay. All right. I am back at the crib. All right. All right, let's see here. Okay. All right. All right, you have a link, J-Bot. Let me know if you want to hop on in. You can. You do not have to. So, but anyway, all right. So as I was saying, one of the things that motivates me to draw or do live streams is when I look at something and it bugs me. So her legs here have been bugging me all day long. And I've been coming in, I work in the office here. And so it's like I come into the office to do my actual real job. And I look back at the drafting table and I see these legs. They're just like, it's like a challenge. It's like, we suck. You're going to have to fix us. And so, it compels me. Furthermore, her hair here is incorrect. I need to fix that. So, but such is life. And the more I do this, the more adept I'm going to be at it, and the sooner I'll have a book made. So we'll see. But let's see. Dragon Pisces. I go to my grandmom's. I go to my grandma's at my hometown, but she got eaten by what? You must be pulling my leg there. Okay. So, I'm drawing right now, my dude. Send the link over. The link has been sent. All right. And we can chat and talk about things because there's lots of things to talk about. All right. What am I going to do here? I am going to bring this in a little bit lower. There you go. All right. So first of all, sharpener time. This is the most exciting part of the stream when I sharpen things. And what I mean by that is it's not. All right. Where in the frick are my glasses? Okay. One moment. All right. Start Kim. Okay. Yeah, this is better. It's funny. It's like you have perfect vision most of your life, and then boom, one day, all of a sudden, things start looking really strange and blurry. So, all right. So we're gonna work a little bit more on her tonight, and I promise I will draw some more characters next week. I'll draw different characters. In fact, I'll put it to a vote in the chat. Which would you like me to draw? So, in fact, I will put the chat. I'm gonna. Yeah, I know it's a Red Riding Hood joke. All right, in the chat. Okay. Wow. All right. Common Sense Girl. Let's see here. General Safety. Vindabud. Zoe Brighton. Elizabeth. Eastman. Ava. Adams. Tanner. Troy. Or Garrett. Or all right, there's your choices. You pick which one. I will work on a character sheet for one of those characters next week. So let's get this balanced right. Okay. Alrighty. One of the things I've noticed about drawing hair for women is that oftentimes, really, what you have is kind of just like a shape. You just draw a shape around the head, and then you kind of fit the hair into the shape. It's something that Dan Mora does, and it's really amazing, and he does it to a really amazing effect. So I've been trying to pull some of that out. But her hair here is supposed to kind of mimic the radiation of the dark matter, and that's why it's kind of spiky and kind of feathery, because it's not meant to lie smooth and flat like her real persona. Her human persona is I shouldn't say real. Her human persona is Elizabeth Eastman. Okay, and so but her hair is smooth, right? And so but Vindababe's hair is obviously very different. So, but I think actually I might just do Elizabeth Eastman. You might need to put commas in between names. It gets confusing. Yeah, you know what? Son of a biscuit. All right, hold on a second here. Let me get this fixed. This drives me crazy. All right. I hope that works. God, I think I'm an imbecile. I'm a professional IT person. I know what comma separated values are. Goodness gracious. It's horrifying. All right. Let's see here. So, all right, back to what I was saying. Her hair is jaggedy and it's kind of informed by a little bit of a harshness, is what I'm looking for. And I need to make her feminine, but at the same time, kind of harsh. So, all right. So, anyway, okay. So, Let's forget about the belt for right now. Yeah, okay. All right, so chest. Okay, and then waist, hips. Hips go out here. And then, let's see. There we go. It's been bugging me, and it's going to bug me until I get it right. And then yeah. There we go. J-Bot.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Thank you for coming to my stream.
No problem, man. I was out of town for a little bit, or else I would have been on the other days and stuff. So, um, yeah. So how you been, man? Uh-oh, you just left.
That's me being stupid. Okay, let's see here. Let me see if I can get this right here. So I want to, if I if I want to do the draw cam, I have to be talking through the draw cam. So let's do it this way.
You can drag your thing over. Yeah.
Let's do it this way. There we go. All right. I guess this will work. So how you been doing?
All right, man. All right.
Any new dang it, why am I forgetting the name of your wrestling character? God, what's his name?
Oh, the stretcher?
Thank you. The stretcher. You know, I'm gonna you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write that right now. You see this? I'm gonna write this right now. The stretcher. Right here. So I don't forget it. This is gonna be hilarious when it shows up in my comic review videos.
We're
gonna be like, what is a
layout?
stretcher?
The layout of a page, and so I'm trying to make that work. I just can't seem to get it to work the way I want it, so I'm just pushing through it pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. No, I understand. I get where you're coming from.
I did finish the inside cover for that Magnificent Bastards, so I finished that one finally.
Yeah.
Which you guys already saw that, I think, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, we did, but it still was amazing. And you know, I saw him on Bancroft stream tonight.
Yeah, I was watching that. That's cool. You got a couple backers and stuff, so that's nice.
Yeah, I see he's looking to get that shipped in October. Is that right?
I think so.
I'm actually kind of impressed because he's got a 42-page book that's full color, and he's ready to do it. And you know, has he even hit $3,000?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very much over, so that is a very tight margin for him. But is this his first book?
I think so. Okay. I mean, from what I understand, he's ghostwritten stuff in comics before, but this is his first like solo. This is what I'm doing, my project.
He's ghostwritten stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like confidential ghostwritten stuff?
I know I've never asked him, and I figured if he wanted to say, he probably would say. You know.
Probably. So. You know, it's funny. I was watching. I wasn't watching. I was on Twitter, as I'm wont to be, and I saw Donald Delays was responding to someone. You know who Donald is?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was responding to this lady on Twitter who was doing a book, and she's like got like what, like maybe 1,000 followers or something like that, and she was talking about, you know, how it's not fair to say, oh, you can be just like Eric July or EVS, and I was like looking at that. I'm like, well, she's not wrong. It's, you know, people. I think that people and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm looking at this Magnificent Bastards is the name of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at this project. I mean, it looks amazing. The art is phenomenal on it, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, this guy's like making this work with like basically nothing, you know, and he's doing the best he can, and it looks amazing. And I am screwing it. I don't know if I can. You ever get these things, these times where you don't feel like you can draw?
I'm having that right now.
You're having that right now?
Right
I'm like
now
looking at her hair.
With this panel. I'm just like, ah.
Yeah. I'm looking at her hair. I'm like, God, this sucks. This is amazing. What the hell's going on here? Anyway, yeah, no, but he's making it work with like nothing, right? You know, and it's like people are like, well, I can't make $100,000. I'm like, okay, so you know, there's a couple different things to keep in mind. So everybody that has one of these massive platforms is talented at something. You know, whether you think that they're talented or not is a different issue. I mean, there was a while, I mean, this is a while back. I don't know if this is before your time, but several years ago, that Star Wars girl, Anna, she had a Barbarella. No, was it Barbara? No, it wasn't a Barbarella. It was Elvira, I think. She did this cover for an Elvira comic, right? And the art isn't the greatest. So I just put it that way. But you know, whatever. But people were mad, and they're like, oh well, they had her on the Comicsgate thing because she's easy to look at, you know, and she likes Star Wars. I'm like, well, you know what she's doing right now? She's doing something that you're not doing. She's on YouTube with her own YouTube channel talking about Star Wars, and if people want to watch that, then they want to watch it. So, but there are plenty of good-looking people out there that don't go on YouTube and talk about Star Wars, even though they could, right? You know, so I mean, like she had a pretty inauspicious beginning doing that stuff. So and so people are like going, well, you know, now she's doing these comics or whatever. I don't know that she's doing comics. Other people are doing comics, but it's like, you know, it's not, life isn't fair. But what you have to do is you have to work to believe in your art, you know, and if you're trying to do it because you think that you're going to make $100,000, I mean, that's great. But don't get pissed off about it. You can't really compare yourself. And when I see people like that, and Donald's like, oh, well, you can work just as hard as EVS. I'm like, well, not really. So, you know, he's a pretty hot artist for DC for a long period of time on a major cultural icon. That's not something that you're going to get on YouTube and be able to do like that. Furthermore, he had a lot of people that felt like he got done wrong. And so there are a lot of people that wanted to follow him and support him because they were like, it was a big FU to the people that are lunatics. Fair enough. So, but bottom line is you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them. You should be comparing yourself to like someone like Eric Weathers, which, you know, I mean, Eric, what is Eric famous for being on Ethan's stream? I don't know. Maybe he has been on Ethan's stream. I don't know, but he wasn't there in the first place. You know, the reason he got anywhere was he started saying, you know what, I'm going to letter comic books, and which is a skill that not a lot of people are even interested in doing, let alone know how to do it. And so he's like, I'll letter all your indie books. And so he's lettered. I've got like 4 or 5 books that he's lettered, not counting his own books. And it's just one of those things. It's like, Donald's like, well, you need to network. I'm like, well, that's called networking too. So
yeah,
I am, God, what is wrong with my hair? Why can't I figure this out? All right. So what did you call it? That line? I think you said it. It's like that beauty line or something like that.
I don't know. It sounds too smart for me to say something like that.
There's an artistic term for a kind of line. The line looks like this, right? If you're drawing it, it's like
S curve.
It's like an S curve, but it's called something different. And my problem is that I can never draw it. All right, there we go. I think it's more like, anyway, Dan Mora. Yeah, it is Dan Mora. I keep missing his name. It's Dan, the world's finest artist. He is really good at making awesome looking hair with if you really study what his hair looks like, it's like he's got 1-2 good lines, and then everything else is kind of scribbles. But he does it so well. He's really good at it. Yeah, but he'll like do like a line like that, and then he'll kind of just like make things flow. Yeah. Anyway, there's a technical term for it which I can never remember, so I'm not going to talk about it. All right. Other than what I just did. Anyway, so yeah, so I saw that the Twitter exchange, and I get kind of frustrated. And when I saw your boy up there on Bancroft's stream, I'm like, yeah, see, this is a guy that gets it. So, but God, what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? So, I suck at names, by the way. The only reason I can remember your name, James. The only reason I can remember your name is like it's like a robot.
Yeah, it was cool seeing him on there. You know, he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, and Bancroft is another one of those guys. You know, Bancroft has been streaming for like ever at this point, and he's like, you know, hey, come on my stream and we'll get you some exposure. So okay. Anyway, all right. So I've been ignoring the chat. Indie Wrestling says, "Hail peeps, hail Eric," and then let's see, Eric Grant. Hello there, Eric and J-Bot. The title has too many D's for my taste. Maybe we should call it Sugar. Zoe Brighton. Okay, Dragon Pisces wants Zoe Brighton. Okay, so Zoe Brighton will be the character sheet. Zoe Brighton is she's like the smarty pants. She's not like the man in the chair, as they say in Spider-Man. She's kind of like Professor X a little bit, in the fact that she's like the smartest person in the book, and she can't get things done, but she knows what needs to get done, and she's got people that can do it for her. But yeah, so she's actually the person that invents the device that contains the dark matter that by necessity of the story gets broken out of. So, but anyway, so what is up with you, man? You doing a layout here?
Yeah, this is the layout that I did here. So now I'm transferring it to the page. Though here it came out so much better that I can't replicate it. I'm like, ah.
Oh, I hate that, dude.
So
you know what would you like to know a way of getting that on the page aside from a light box? You can reverse the page, right, and then just kind of trace it out again, and then put that back down on another page, and then it'll kind of transfer it if you use soft enough lead, and that way it'll help you with the repetitive nature of it. It'll help you actually, get that muscle memory and help you lock in on it.
Yeah, so. It's so much smaller. That's my problem.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it's like, ugh. So I was like, oh, that came out so cool, and I kept trying to do it 3 times, trying to replicate it. I couldn't. It's like, oh, we're just doing this now.
That's the case.
And let's see, I might work on it on my lap.
I really appreciate you coming and hang out with me.
Oh, no problem, man. I love it, dude. This is the kind of stuff that I love to do.
All right. Now I think I got her hair right. What do you think? Is her hair better now?
Oh, yeah. That looks good.
Okay. All right. So here's a cool thing about this character. Since I'm drawing the character, I'm going to talk a little bit about her. These characters, these dark variants characters, don't necessarily control when they turn into these versions of themselves. Oh, so, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
My camera's falling. Oh. That's what I get for trying to move it.
The moral of the story, says Dragon Pisces, is don't compare yourself to others. Go at your own pace. That's exactly right. Don't do that.
Absolutely. So they don't control when they change, huh? So they could happen
Yeah,
any time as long as there's danger nearby or something.
yeah, it's almost a little bit like a Spidey sense kind of thing, but not really. It's one of these things where the the dark matter has a kind of self defense mechanism, you
Mm.
know, and so uh, I've got this idea for a scene where she's like on a blind date, and then like something happens and she's not aware of it, but instantaneously she switches into the Vinda character, and and she knows she knows that she's Vinda, but it's almost like she doesn't care because she becomes a lot less inhibited
Mm.
with her shyness. She becomes kind of a much more bold person and outspoken person, as this character. But yeah, so I've got all kinds of different ideas that are rolling around my head for different stories that can happen. But it's fun. The thing is that for the longest time I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do with this. I knew I wanted to make a comic book, but I wasn't sure how the characters were going to work and what they were going to do. And it wasn't until about like 4 months ago where it actually started really clicking for me. And so then I'm like, well, can I even draw the art? Am I good enough to draw the art? That's another thing.
Hmm.
When I don't know, when did you start feeling like you were really good at art? Like, is it something that people told you? It was a particular age that you realized that this was your jam?
Um, I think I felt like I was the best when I was like doing it all the time in high school,
Yeah.
and then after that, I just kind of fell off. Um,
Hmm.
Went to school for graphic design, and I didn't like it, and I think it's because I like my dream when I was in high school. All I wanted to do is I wanted to go live in the city and draw comics. Like that's all I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and it was not going to work out that way financially. It just wasn't going to happen, you
Hmm.
know. And so I was okay. Well, let me go to a school, and the school would talk about after you go there for 2 years, you get your degree, and then they can place you in a job and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. Like that was the idea, that they had teachers that were actually in the graphic design field, and they were going to find you a job and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but you had to like dress professional and all types of stuff like that, and it just was not for me. And at that time, I didn't want anything to do with any type of schooling or anything. So I just fell off of art and stopped doing
Hmm.
it until like, man, probably until like last March, April, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, started watching a lot of Ethan stuff and seeing people do comics, and I was like, oh, why don't I give that a shot and start, drawing again. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not like that confidence is gone, man. It's just, it's just, I'm trying my best and just trying to learn,
Yeah.
and just trying to grow and get better every time I work on something. But yeah, it's to be like, well, I'm good. It's like I don't have that feeling at all.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, because I was I was an I was a real I was a real arrogant son of a bitch, when I was younger. Um, no, I think it was like I was 17, and I used to tell people, I said I can literally draw anything if given enough time.
Mhm.
And that was my attitude about it. And it's like, there's nothing that I cannot draw. I know how to envision it, and I know how to convert it to a two-dimensional image. And and it's funny, I look at my art back then. If you look at my sketch pans, I have a lot of art that is not cartoon art. It's actual, drawings of like the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Things like that, figures like that, just figure studies.
Mhm.
And I didn't really want to do that for a living. I wanted to draw comic strips. I wanted to be Bill Watterson. So I wanted to draw these stupid little cartoons like what I put up on the other day. Um, and that was my drive, my focus. And so I was like, how can I write better comic strips? What, like 4-panel gags or whatever. And but it's like what I started realizing was like I wanted to not just, you know, do this. I mean, just draw a comic strip, because there's lots of people that draw comics that the art is lacking, but they're hilarious because they're written really well.
Hmm.
And so I was like, what I need to do is I need to do both. I can draw the most professional looking comic, and then it turned into web comic. I was like, I'm going to draw the most professional looking web comic, and that it's funny when you're in the middle of it, you think, oh, this looks good, this looks really good, but then like you look back at it, you're like, not so much. so, and but anyway, but that's the thing is like once I switched it from like a regular standard newspaper strip to like a standard comic book page, that's when I was like, I'm going to try to really start crushing this. But I kept sticking with it was a very defined style. I mean, it was superhero parody, but it wasn't like I'm trying to make these characters look much more naturalistic. They're still extremely stylized.
Hmm.
So but that's when I started like doing this. It's like, look, I'm going to do this comic book. It needs to be at a different kind of level. And I hadn't been drawing for a long time. I hadn't drawn really since 2017. It was the last time I actually was really actively drawing. And so I started pulling this stuff out. And I don't know. Do you think I'm getting the hang of it?
I think so. I think your figures are really good. I think your style is really good. It screams comic book, which is
Good,
awesome.
good.
So like when I see it, I was like, that's what a comic should look like. Like if you know what I mean?
Good. That's actually yeah. And by the way, uh, you will never hurt my feelings by telling me that I suck at anything. So if you think something sucks or something's not right, you tell me, because
No,
that's what I need.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, no,
but
absolutely.
but yeah, no, that's one of the things I was going for. It's like I tell people, it's like, look, I don't want to make a comic book that people are going to buy because they know me. I
Hmm.
want to make a book that will sit on a shelf and people will not know me, and they will look at it and they'll say, that looks interesting. Let me look through it. And then maybe I want to buy it. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm driving at right now. And that's why it's like every time I look at this, I'm like, is this good enough? Is it good enough? I don't know. And when I was doing this panel, let's see. Wow, sorry about the noise. There it is. When I was doing this panel here, I don't know if this is going to even focus. Yeah. I was, you know what? Okay, there we go. Now I can bring it down. I was really concerned that I wasn't going to get her face right. And that's one of these things. It's like, I need to make sure I get this character sheet out. So if I start drawing this stuff, if I get too far into it, I'm going to wind up losing it, and it's
Hmm.
going to start looking crazy. And like here, I can already tell like where her hair is getting a little too high here. I need to bring it down, and I need to focus more on making her eyes look feminine. That was a big problem for me. For the longest time, I drew women that look like men.
Hmm.
It's like I couldn't get the chin ratio. It's so hard to do for me. I don't know why. So, but anyway, so I also need to make her a little bit more angular to show that she's not really a natural looking person. She's got kind of like this weird kind of otherworldly vibe. I don't mean like surreal, but just kind of like you can tell there's something a little off about her.
Hmm.
So, all right, let's put some focus on you. See what you got going on here. Going to do this. There we go.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same thing with this page like I did the other one. I'm gonna do the blue line and then hit it with the light table.
Nice.
This is the
Nice.
layout here. This is the layout. So this is the one I could not capture this attitude again, which is him like brushing off the robot parts from his shoulder because this is
Mhm.
after the elbow drop from the helicopter.
Oh, nice.
So he was like brushing the things off his shoulder, like all the bolts and nuts and bolts and stuff.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
just could not replicate it. So now I just have him throwing the one of the iBot's head over his shoulder, like yeah, okay, and getting up, just tossing it over his shoulder.
that's awesome.
But
So
the layout, and then
they're
he's gonna
iBots.
yeah, iBots or iBorgs. I think iBorgs is taken though. I mean, I was doing a
Oh,
Google search, so I don't know yet, but I just was calling them iBots. So
okay,
I just stick to that and just keep it simple.
that
So
works.
so he's throwing the broken head over his shoulder.
Mm.
And this was like this where first you get to see him from head to toe, what he looks like, and then him yelling, him, him yelling at the robots, and then they're just gonna turn like what? And I
Hmm.
got this gag that I was while I was drawing this, and I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. Is that they have an antenna off the top of their head,
Hmm.
so because he's gonna yell at them, and they're gonna be like, "What?" This one's gonna be a question mark.
Oh, nice.
Got a little question mark, like what?
I love
Like,
it.
huh? Where the hell did this guy come from?
I dig it.
So I was like, all right. So it's one of
So,
those things that I just want to do it page by page, finish this little story,
hmm.
him fighting these iBots or whatever, and then okay, cool, I did a little story. Actually finished it.
Yeah, I cannot wait to read it, man. All right, Dragon Pisces said earlier, like werewolves, they have no choice to change. That's correct. A little bit like that. Right now, I'm designing my characters. I know I'm not a good artist because I started a couple of years ago, but the goal is to make it clear for my real artist to tell that he's going to draw. Okay, so oh, don't ever say that you're not a real artist. Okay, don't ever think that. Here's some advice. Um, you've got to know you're a good artist, right? Even and this is okay. Don't go around telling people that you're the best artist because that's not what matters. What matters is that you are doing something that is an expression of what you want. And if you look at your work and you don't think that it's good enough by your personal standards, that doesn't mean that you're not a good artist. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that what you are envisioning is not quite where your skill set is yet, and that doesn't mean that you won't ever get there. So I think that a lot of people used to say, "Well, I can't draw very well," and the reality is that you actually can draw as well as you were drawing the moment you stopped. As a child, that's actually the technical understanding of it. So, but if you decided, like, I'm not going to draw anymore, I'm going to get on an iPad so, and tap on things, yeah, then that's where your art skill is going to wind up staying. So, anyway, all right, I think her hair is a little bit more naturalistic there.
I think the thing is to not get hung up on what other people were doing, because I know that's a big problem that I have. It's like,
Mm,
oh man, look at this guy. I'm like,
yeah.
shit, just hang it up, man. Like, you
Oh, yeah.
can't let it get like that where you're like, why don't you even bother, dude? You just do it
That
because
is
you
so
enjoy it.
hard.
Yeah, and then do it because you enjoy it and do the best that you can do.
That is absolutely 100% correct. A lot, you just can't. If you do that, you're right. It's funny. It's like I'll read some comic books and the art will be so good. It'll be like achingly good, you know? And that's actually the way I feel about Calvin and Hobbes comic strips, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to draw these comics, and I will read some of his comic strips, some of Watterson's comic strips, and they are so effing good that they are depressingly good. It's like when you watch someone that's so that it's not even that they're so good at what they do. It's like they're quite possibly the best that has ever been at what they're doing. Um, you can't compare yourself against that stuff. That'll drive you insane.
Yeah,
You'll never get anything done. So
especially sometimes it irks me because I'll see somebody, they'll draw exactly like the style that I would love to be able to do.
oh
You know,
yeah.
like there's this guy, I can't remember, I don't know his name off the top of my head. I follow him on Twitter, and he draws like 90s style, like early 90s, like anime style. like with the
Hmm.
colors and with like everything, like Macross and Dirty Pair and like that total 90s, like man. And I'm like, I wish I could draw like if I could pick who would I draw like I want to draw like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, you see stuff like that, and you're like, why don't even bother?
Yeah.
So I
No,
think what I
I
need to
know
do is
exactly what you mean.
I need to just buy some trash Marvel books to keep around to make me feel better about myself.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I was at the comic shop the other day, and they had these. They had a collection that someone had brought in, and in the collection they had Amazing Spider-Man. They had one of Romita Jr.'s Spider-Man comics from like the '90s,
Hmm.
and so I pulled it out, and then I was buying one of his new runs from that heinous new line, and
Hmm.
I put them both down in front of the comic guy. There's this guy, he works at this comic shop. His name is Eric. He's a he he's he's a gay man, and the reason I'm telling you this is because his favorite character is Jean Grey and the Phoenix, and he constantly wears Jean Grey and Phoenix stuff, and he likes to be called Jean Grey, and so he's a hilarious guy. He's the nicest guy. Anyway, and, but I walk up, I say Eric, and he's like, "What, Andrew?" I said, what the hell happened to John Romita Jr.? See, look at this. He goes, I have no idea. That's awful. So, but yeah.
That's the
Anyway,
thing too, is I never liked Romita. I never liked JR on Spider-Man. Like I
mhm.
never liked him on
Like his
Spider-Man.
original stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember he did the run with where they brought back Green Goblin for the umpteenth time. That's about when I stopped. When they've like Ben Riley was really the clone,
Yeah.
and Green Goblin kills him, and they bring back JR on that. I was like, I never liked him on Spider Man. Like I always thought he was good drawing like Punisher, Daredevil, Wolverine, like those like Ghost Rider and stuff, like all those guys. But I never
Hmm.
thought he was Mark Bagley's my Spider Man guy. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh
I
God.
never
Yeah.
he's his style's too blocky for me. You know, I loved his him and when he worked with Frank Miller doing the Man Without Fear, like 5 issue,
Yeah.
like origin story. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite stories um in comics, and just with the art and everything, because he was a good substitute. And personally, I feel he's a better artist than Frank Miller.
Hmm.
Um, but his style fit was such a good substitute for Miller at that time, and but I
Yeah.
never liked him on Spider Man with his square fingers and shit.
I don't get that. I really don't get that. So, this is a drawing I was looking for the other day. This is like when I start really narrowing down what I wanted her to look like.
Hmm.
So, but this is really she had kind of a heart shaped face, but I wanted to make it a little bit more angular. Anyway, no, but like yeah, he's like drawing hands like this, right? He's and it's like he's drawing like this fan, right? And then he's doing this, and that's how he's drawing his fingers.
It's like Kirby hands without the charm.
Jack Kirby is an effing legend, and everybody should keep their dang mouth shut about any of his art. But you're
Oh,
right.
absolutely.
You're
I love.
right.
I'm trying to think who was Darren. Whoever was the art director for Brave and the Bold, the Brave and the Bold show. I mean, that thing was that the Batman Brave and the Bold. That
Dini,
thing is awesome.
is it Paul Dini?
No, it was. I mean, he might have been a producer, but he wasn't the director. I want to say. I gotta find it, but it's like a lot of like the gold, like a lot of the that is that Silver Age, where like Kirby, New Gods, like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's Silver Age stuff.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff. I mean, he does a lot of Silver Age throwbacks in that Brave and the Bold show. Um, where and it's like the animated series mixed with the '60s Batman.
Hmm.
Is that Batman? He has the Batmobile that's black and red. His batarangs are black and red, but his cape will turn into a jetpack, and he has like he pull a sword out of his utility belt. And he's like prepared for everything, but each episode is he always has a guest star in every
Hmm.
episode. It's like his Brave and the Bold, so he'll have like Guy Gardner or like Blue Beetle, like it'll be like the new Blue Beetle, but then they start talking about the old Blue Beetle, and then like Booster Gold. But there's always like some kind of lesson, But they'll be finding
Hmm.
like what the hell's a guy like? He had a dude had a clock for a face, and then like
I don't. I have no
I don't
idea.
know, man. They do some deep cuts in there, Gentleman Ghost. Um, man, it's just a lot of the and he doesn't find like the Joker. Like it's never like his guys. It's like DC Silver Age villains.
Yeah.
Toyman, I think, was one.
Toyman. Yeah.
And it was like we had like we teams up with Red Tornado, and they talk about like the meaning of Christmas and shit, and it's like Red Tornado's trying to understand. I mean, it's deep. Like, and he's like, well, sometimes, crime never, and he's like, well, crime never takes a holiday, and neither do I. And then they do a flashback to where his parents give him the nutcracker, like a nutcracker. He's like, "This is not what I
Yeah.
wanted." This, and he gets mad and throws the nutcracker, and his parents are kind of upset, and he's mad at his parents, you know. And so throughout, so they show flashbacks of him, getting the nutcracker, then him being a little spoiled little kid, and then and then they show another it's that day, right, of the last Christmas with his parents, that they're kind of flashing back to while like these kids are talking about this toy, and Red Tornado's trying to figure out the meaning of Christmas because he can't understand it because he's a robot.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the episode, of course, before they take down Toyman or whatever, it's it's they go to a show. He's mad at his parents, and his parents go down the dark alley,
Yeah.
and they then you see the two flashes in the dark alley. And so, like in the Brave and the Bold, Batman was angry at his parents because they didn't get him what he wanted, and then they died. So
Yeah.
he has to
That's
kind of live with that guilt of not saying I'm sorry to his parent. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, this is a kid's cartoon, bro. like, like, but it is so damn good. And
F
it's
them
just
kids.
yeah. So there's always some kind of lessons, like appreciate what your parents give you because they're not going to be around. And it's not,
Yeah.
it's not what you get for Christmas. It's the spirit of Christmas, and the fact that the giving and spending it with your family. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was it's a really good show, and I think it lasted like 6 seasons
Really.
or something, or no, maybe not some, maybe like three, like two or three, but there's a decent amount of episodes, and a lot of Justice Society, like not Black Cat, was that Bobcat? The guy dressed like a cat who's a boxer.
I have no idea.
Yeah, old DC guy. If you seen him, you'd be like, yeah, that guy. Or they'll
I
have like
might. I don't know. I've never heard of a character like that.
or like Our Man, or you know what I mean. So he'll team up with a
Yeah.
lot, or he like one he teams up with um he always teams up with Green Arrow. All the
Okay.
time. They have this rivalry of who's better. But it's all in fun. All the time they're busting each other's chops while they're doing it. But it's a really like cool classic DC stuff, which is really neat,
Really.
and it's just fun. It's just super fun. Oh, I got to find the space. He just flies in this, puts a helmet on. His cow becomes a helmet, and his wings, his cape turns into a jetpack, and he flies into space. Like, cool, man.
Jeez.
Like, whatever, dude. Like, let's just have fun.
That is crazy. So Brave and the Bold. I will look into that. So
Yeah, but his style is like very Kirby with the square fingers and like it's very very Kirby influence. A
hmm.
lot of Kirby Crackle. He has a couple cameos with Kamandi and stuff too. So a lot of the Golden Age like or Silver Age stuff, which is oh shit, Kamandi, like
Mm.
or Wanna Beast or whatever, who grabs like two. He could grab like two two animals, put them together with the best attributes of both.
Yeah.
So it's a very good show, especially if you like classic DC hero stuff. It's on par with terms of I put it on par, the same quality as Justice League and Batman animated series and stuff.
Wow.
But very Kirby influenced. The art is very Kirby influenced, which is neat.
I was going to ask you about something, but I went off on a long Raven the Bull.
Yeah, I probably rambled on too long.
I can see if I can remember what I was going to ask you. Geez, I totally forgot. I'll have to think about it. Anyway, Wildcat Dragon Pisces says,
Yes.
it's like I've seen this episode, and it says I have a problem with being too humble to the point that I sell myself short. Yeah, don't sell yourself short, Wildcat. All right, dang, it's 143. Okay, we'll go to 2. So.
They had Wildcat because he's an older hero even in the show. So they had R. Lee Emery voice him, which was the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, R. Lee Ermey. Yeah.
Yeah, he voices Wildcat, so it's pretty awesome.
Oh my god, I've got what is that? I have a bug on my drafting table.
Oh no.
That is uncool. That is a negative Ghost Rider. All right, hold on a second here. Stop cam. I had to deal with this. Here, look at J-Bot for a second.
Like having a bug battle live on the stream.
Yeah. No, I don't. Homie, don't play that.
I understand.
Crisis averted.
All right. The Vanquished.
Vanquished. All right. I'm sure someone's going to come and see my Marvel shirt with my Ditko and Kirby stuff. You're selling out. Don't buy stuff from people that hate you. Okay.
There's always exceptions,
By the way, oh, look at this. Look what I got here. Look at this. Yeah, nobody asked me to do like a cover for the Embrace.
All right, that's awesome.
This one's second place in the art contest for the first issue. So this is actually in that issue, but it's like fan art that's like second place. So
that's cool.
Is but the one I actually turned in was digital, and then this is the inked version. So I was showing you about that light board. This is inked off of this. So, but what I liked about his feet, my favorite part about this are his feet, because they look like they might be Yeezys. So, but anyway, oh well. I just happened to have this lying around. It was like right there. So.
Awesome.
Actually, that was one of those things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did a little piece for Dojo Kun's Projectile Reptile. And he
Mhm.
was like, "Yeah, you're supposed to draw a projectile reptile." And I was like, "Well, I already did that. I don't want to draw him again." But I drew a picture of like this Kitty Hawk character that I just saw a picture of. I was like, I'm gonna draw, so I started drawing her. I want to draw a girl because I want to work on my women, And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
so I'll draw her. And, but I could submit it to. And I was like, you know what? I want her to have big guns. Like, so I drew her with big gun. It's like I know nothing about this character, but she's gonna have some big ass guns. Is what she's gonna have, like some like life field cable guns, you know. And I sent it, hey man. And he's like, oh yeah, you're supposed to draw a projectile reptile. I was like, oh okay, well. He's like, well, I'll still show it. I said, okay, cool, no problem. And so I'm having all these artists look at it and stuff. They're gonna be the judges. I'm like, oh sweet man. So he's like, we're gonna do it on a live stream. I'm like, oh okay, cool. So I think he's gonna have a live stream. The artists come on, they're gonna look at the pieces like Gabe did with his stuff, where
Mhm.
he looks at all the pieces, or like Dan Fraga does in Fragtober, looks at all the pieces and all right, cool. And it's like, oh, he just no, he did a video where he sent them everything, and then they said whatever. So I was like, I wanted the reason I submitted it because I wanted to see what they were going to say about my piece, and I didn't even get to hear that.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, damn it.
that is funny and
But he's
sad.
like,
I'm sorry.
yeah, you're supposed to draw a projectile reptile. I was like, all right, I don't want to draw that guy.
I don't know. What do you think Vinda Bay might look at the rabbit bunny and think, "Oh, cute." This is just my little bunny. So,
Yeah,
actually,
that's a good one, man.
it's funny. In the story, these two never meet. They absolutely have nothing to do with each other. However, I was thinking it might be fun to do something, but we'll see. But
Hmm.
in the actual property story, they never come across. But they do have something in common. They are both dark variants. This is a dark variant, and she is a dark variant. So, but anyway, okay. So I was drawing. I didn't know which way I wanted her hair to go. So, which way should I have her? Should I have it? Do I want it this way or this way? Or... Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay. All right. One of these days, I'm going to remember what you were talking about and try to, or I was going to remember what I was going to talk about to you.
You could go to sleep and wake up. My God, I
Yeah.
remember.
Yes.
Great Scott, and we get a message on Twitter
Yeah.
at 3 in the
That's
morning.
exactly what's going to happen.
This is what I meant. You were talking about the Marvel stuff, but I don't know if that constituted it.
No. I just realized I hadn't smart. Actually, my wife bought the shirt for me. She's, oh, I thought you might like this. I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, I
Oh
do like
yeah,
it. It's cool. It's got
those are,
classic stuff on it.
yeah,
Oh
those are,
yeah, no, and that was a different tangent I was going to go on. The idea that you shouldn't. I really do not believe in the idea of boycotting. Rather than I think you should boycott. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
if someone puts out something that you like, you should buy it to show them that you like it, and then you should just like not buy what you think is stupid. So rather than boycott everything, because that doesn't really send them. People act like, oh, I've got a YouTube channel, I got 50,000 followers, and I'm going to boycott Disney. That like no one cares.
Yeah, yeah.
Disney's not going to care. So, however, if your 50,000 followers go and buy tickets, then to something that's successful, like this Top Gun movie came out, it was really successful.
Mhm.
So, but that's not Disney. So, anyway,
But yeah, I think it's kind of like I can't. I'm limited to what I can mess around to financially. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, am I
oh,
gonna buy
of
stuff
course,
that's like, eh,
no,
you know what I mean? It's kind of like, when I can be like, oh, I'm gonna get these art books instead of like watching.
and that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, people that act. I mean, if that's how they want to do it, sure. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Like, why am I gonna support? I mean, I don't feel like it. I'd rather save that money to buy an indie book that I like or something.
absolutely, you should do that. Absolutely. I had this fight on Twitter with this one guy one time because I said that the new Spider-Man movie was good, and he's like, "I'm not going to see that because it's just like nostalgia bait." I'm like, "Is it good? Yes or no?" It's like I'm not going to eat pizza because it's not steak.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it good pizza or is it not good pizza?
Yeah.
But this guy was like going to war with me about it. I was like, dude, I'm not. I don't care. So
Yeah. I mean, if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna make you subscribe to my, you know,
yeah,
just because I don't want to do it doesn't mean that you don't have to do it either.
hmm
It's like, yeah,
yeah,
sure, if you want to do it, man, go for it. But sometimes it's something like I knew I was going to see Spider Man. I knew I
hmm
was not going to see Love and Thunder. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't good enough to be like, yeah, I'll give them my money for that. Spider Man's like, I got to see Spider Man in the theaters, dude. It's Spider Man,
hmm
you know?
yeah.
But everything else that I've seen or whatever that's come out, I've been just like, nah. And it could be part of that, how they're all yahoos, working in these companies, or, maybe it's just I'm just burnt out and tired of it.
hmm
I'm just like, eh. But then again, I don't watch much TV anyway. Though we are we did get stoked that we can watch the On Patrol Live, um, which is like the successor to Live PD. That was-
I'm not familiar.
so Live PD was like the police show. It was like Cops, pretty much, and it was on A&E, and it was like really big. It did really well. But with the whole like BLM and all this crazy stuff happening, and then they end up pulling it from the show, even though it was doing like awesome numbers.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
about that. They were apologizing for doing shows that made cops look uh, favorable. I guess.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. So then now it's on Reels TV, but it's called On Patrol Live. But it's the same guys. It's like the same guys in the same counties with, you know what I mean, and
Okay.
everything. So you get to see it's pretty much it's the same show. They just can't call it Live PD, so it's On Patrol Live, but it's just pretty much the same thing. But
What
everybody's
channel
there.
is this on?
It's on Reels.
Okay.
So what we did is that we signed up for the app, and then we did something else. My wife signed up because that was like our Friday, Saturday thing. I'd come home from work, and we'd hey, all right, oh, Live PD's on. Let's order some pizza, and we'll see because of the one of them in South Carolina, and it's like the county over from us.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, let's see what's going on in this county over here this today. But we're just like, okay, when it's 7 o'clock, we can't we can't go to the next county over because we might be on Live PD, so we can't. So we're staying indoors.
Fair. Fair.
So we're like, oh, there it is. What's going on in this county? And then the county next door to us, like literally like 15 minutes away. Okay, let's see what's going on. Yep, there's a tweaker. There you go. So it's kind of our
Hilarious.
thing to do, and it was something that we would leave on in the background and stuff, and watch and talk and kind of hang out. My wife and my mother-in-law and us. That was kind of our thing that we do every Friday and Saturday. And then when they took it off, we're like, man, I'm bummed it's not on. Because even if we'd miss an episode, we'll just go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But now they have On Patrol Live, so we're like, they brought it back.
I'm so sorry. I just asked you what channel this was again, and I forgot it immediately.
Reels.
Reels.
Yeah, like
Reels.
REELZ.
Okay.
Well,
I will look into that.
I guess it's a station, but there
Mhm.
you can get the app too, but you got to like have like something or something to do the app. I know my wife, it took her a bit to set it up, but
Okay. Well, I will keep an eye out for it myself. Um, you're in South Carolina?
yeah.
Cool. I might be going to South Carolina later on this year. So.
That's when you're like bugs. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Sorry, but yeah. No, I'm in Florida, so
Yeah.
I'm in Orlando or a suburb, or I was born directly in Orlando, but I live around Orlando. God, I was going to ask you. Oh no, the cop thing. It's weird because there's lots of good cop shows and fun cop shows. I've never understood. I really have never understood why it's so hard. And people are going to accuse me of not of white privilege and all this nonsense. Forget about cops. Okay, just any authority figure, right? If you are caught by someone for whatever reason, whatever reason it might happen to be, I never understood the reasoning behind making it worse, right? I never got it. And like there is a tragic thing that happened near me, right? This girl, she goes flying through this neighborhood in she's like an Audi SUV, right? She goes flying through this neighborhood. She hits this dude who's walking his dog, right?
Oh my God.
And hits him so hard that his shoes are like 20 feet away from his body, right? Kills this guy. Dog is fine. And she just keeps on trucking. She just keeps on driving. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
How is this gonna make it better? You're not gonna get away with it. So the reason I'm telling you this story, she drives like into the neighborhood. Her destination's in the neighborhood. She gets to the driving. She pulls into the driveway. The guy notices that the car's got this massive amount of damage on it. He's like, "What happened to the car?" And she goes, "Oh, I just hit some old guy." And so a bunch of the dudes like in this house, their first instinct is to come out and set the car on fire and ditch the car when they find out that I'm like, I'm trying hard to understand. Right?
Oh, it's easy to understand. Those are horrible people.
Well, okay, yeah.
Those are horrible people.
I think maybe it's just like I think I'm operating from the perspective of like everybody is like a normal person.
Yeah, no, this sounds like
why would you do that?
All horrible people.
So furthermore, they go out and they ditch the car like 3 blocks away, right?
Oh,
and the cops, of course, drive by and like, oh shit, there's a burned out Audi Q7. We might want to look into that. But in a regular neighborhood. Anyway, yeah, no, you're right. They're terrible people. They're horrifying people. Yeah, but with the cops thing, so they it's like, oh, we can't let people like. I'm like, look, dude, someone's coming into your house that it's not supposed to be there. You're going to call the cops. Who else are you going to call, right? And so, I never understood that. But one of the shows I used to like. Have you ever heard or watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah.
All right. Early seasons of that show were hilarious.
Yeah, they were.
I love that show. But like the last couple of seasons, it's like they turned into this, we're going to apologize for being a show about police officers. And I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
That's Hollywood,
Yeah, it is. But I will check your Live on Patrol. That sounds like a lot of fun. Goodness gracious. Oh boy. Should I do anything else here? I don't know. This is one of the reasons I'm doing this character sheet is that you said, oh, you should do a character sheet. So I don't know. Do I need some more diverse things? Because these are all like headshots.
A back would be great.
Just a back? Okay.
I don't know where you're gonna fit it.
Yeah, well, I figured the reason I didn't do a back was because it's just a cape and her hair and her legs. So it's like you're gonna the back of the legs and the back of the cape, which I think is a blue cape. I've yet to decide what I want our color scheme to be.
I feel like it's gonna part sometimes.
Yeah, no, it is especially because of the same. She's like kind of like the same character as this other character, and so do I make her? I've been looking at like how Batgirl is different from Batman, and because I really like. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Anyway, the Batgirl character with the bright yellow boots, and the purple bodysuit, I think is a really tight looking look for that. Not what they did in that movie, but in the actual comic, it looks I love that. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out if I want to make her more towards that kind of a vibe. So, but the color schematic is going to be like this kind of like dark gray, and blue and purple and yellow, but I don't know how well it's going to work together. But her hair is she has an auburn, like a dark auburn hair. So, but anyway, and then like her primary, the normal human version of herself is more brownish auburn. So the auburn just gets brought out really, really hard when she turns into this character. But anyway, no, Batgirl thing. Holy crap, dude.
They're showing everything. They're like, no, man.
You know, it's funny about that. People are like, going, well, they spent $90 million on it. Somebody needs to see it. They're going to release the cut. I'm like, no, you don't understand what a tax write down is. So, that was the other thing I was going to ask you. Do you ever play horror video games?
Not really. No. Probably last one I really got into was probably like Resident Evil 5.
So, all right. Dragon Pisces says, right now my mom is going through her childhood stuff, and some of my childhood we're finding out stuff from the 80s and 90s, and my book is full of Nintendo Passcodes. That's funny. I have one because my hometown is decades behind, so that's how I grew up with Blockbuster and VHS in 2000s. Interesting. Weird. Okay. Anyway, no. Okay, so the reason I say that is because there was a sale on Xbox for Resident Evil. I've never played a horror video game. And so I was going to ask you, being a retro game guy, if you had any recommendations for it. So,
I hear the remake of Resident Evil 2 is very good.
okay.
I heard 3 not so much. It depends. Like fans of 3 like 3.
Yeah.
But from I guess they cut out certain parts, like certain areas. I guess and people were kind of upset about it. But I hear Resident Evil 2 is very good. And I think that's probably why Resident Evil 3 remake was kind of a letdown. I enjoyed 5, but it's because it played different. You could play the whole thing like cooperatively, which is kind of neat.
Okay.
Trying to think of other horror games, but off the top of my head, I'm not thinking of it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a big horror game, guy.
All right. All right. So, all right. Well, then back to the other thing, because I'm scatterbrained. So yeah, no. Apparently, they're taking a write down on that movie, a tax write down, which means that they can't show it to anybody legally at all.
Okay.
So it's not going to go on HBO Max, and it's not going to be released theatrically, and it is not. There's not going to be any cut released of it. So because of tax law, and so what they're basically saying is like, we're going to use this as $90 million in tax credit for the studio. And I've been reading a bunch of different stories about this, and I saw that there was some talk about actually killing Flashpoint, and then I saw one YouTube guy say that they were going to bring back Cavill as Superman in the end credit sequence of Black Adam, and Black Adam is supposed to be like the big bad of a new phase of DC cinematic universe. And so they were going to just basically kill all these stupid, pointless superhero movies that aren't really valuable or really add anything. And they're going to try to build a brand new, all new DC cinematic universe where they're going to put a huge focus on big budget, big ticket characters because they've got the best character. I think that they have the best characters, period. I mean, I think any reasonable person looking at the history of comics would have to say that DC's got the more important superheroes. So
yeah,
but
anyway. I mean, I almost feel like you could have did something with Black Adam and Shazam, because I feel like Shazam wasn't really tied to anything.
People say that Shazam, a lot of people like Shazam. I didn't really think that movie was all that great.
It's okay. Did you? It was a kids movie.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that was the thing that I really felt like it was like, here is a superhero kids movie. Like I felt like I was watching, like it was like a PG-13, like a kids movie is what I thought. That's why I kind of gave it some slack. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
If I looked at it from that perspective, C, it made sense. It was fun. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no problem.
I can see that.
I was depressed after I saw it.
No, that's a good point. But I wish they would have shot it someplace that wasn't raining all day long every day.
Right.
So, but Anyway, no, but I was like that'd be a good idea. What they were doing with, I think was it Zaslav is his name.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, he is based. That dude is based. I saw that there is a talk that they might because there was apparently going to be a Supergirl movie
Yeah.
with Sasha Calais. By the way, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I can't even with that. I cannot even with that.
And that's
You,
the sad part is like the pictures that I've seen, like they
hmm
show her and she's a cute, she's a cute, good-looking young lady,
hmm
gorgeous dark hair,
yeah.
and they show her and then they show her in the costume where they chop her hair off and she looks like a dude. I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Well, it's not even that. It's that she's not right for the character. You know. And I can sit there and say this. Well, this is my idea of what Supergirl is, and they're like, "Well, you don't know what the movie's about." I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to see a movie where this is what Supergirl looks like because that's not Supergirl. I mean, I feel like, hey guys, we're gonna give you a Big Mac, and look at this Big Mac full of broccoli. And I'm like, no,
It's not a Big
I mean,
Mac.
broccoli is good for you, but that's not Big Mac. So, um, it's just it drives me. And then the character in her in the suit looked awful. The suit looks
Yeah.
it looks terrible. And furthermore, she she doesn't have. I mean, okay, again, there's nothing wrong with the actress. I think the actress is fine,
Mhm.
but she's not in the shape that you would expect Supergirl to be in. So, um, anyway, it's kind
I
of like
think
Pattinson wasn't really in the shape that you'd like to see Batman in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. People fight me all day. Yeah, everybody I talk to, I liked it. It was very good. I'm like, the biggest part of that movie was Robert Pattinson because he looked like a dude in a bad outfit. Everything was cool. Like I liked what they were doing. I liked what they did with Batman. Like they get credit, it's kudos. But I'm sorry, but he looked like a dude in a bat costume. He didn't look like Batman to me.
hmm
And especially when I'm hearing him talk, and in the back of my head, I'm hearing freaking Kevin Conroy's voice. I'm like, this guy's not even trying to like trying to. He's just like, hey, it's like that's just a dude, man. Like it's just like I can't believe he could beat up six guys. Like I'm sorry, and I know he's a good
no,
actor, but I'm just like the weakest part of that movie, in my opinion, was Batman.
no, you're not wrong. You're not
Of
wrong.
course, they got to have, and then here's Thomas Wayne holding the family together, being, you know what I mean? Oh, he's not, he's made mistakes. I can't believe my dad is. Blah. It's like, oh, you motherfuckers, man. You can't just have like a dad be a good dad and shit. And they're like, well, he did this and it was blah blah. He's like, I can't believe. I said, listen, if they were trying to blackmail my wife, you bet your ass I'd hire somebody to work. What are you talking about? Like in a heartbeat, I'm like, hell yeah, he did the right thing. What?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. No. It's
Are
like you're
you kidding
absolutely
me?
right there. No. Yeah. That's the other thing too. It's like there seems to be a fascination lately with let's make Thomas Wayne an asshole,
Yeah,
and
seriously.
like in the Joker movie, and I'm like you guys, it's like, oh, he's rich, so he must be an asshole. I'm like, he's a medical doctor philanthropist dude who has devoted his life to saving people's lives. He's not evil. Okay, stop it.
Yeah.
You don't need Joaquin doesn't need his Oscar on the back of Thomas Wayne being an asshole.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, no, that's another thing that bothered me about this. Like, but the other thing is that Bruce Wayne in that movie so easily believes it. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, oh my god, he was a bad man. Now I can't. I was like, oh, shut up. just,
Let me
just
trust
shut
these
up.
people that I barely know
I'm gonna, I'm gonna,
instead
yeah,
of
I'm
my
gonna trust
dad.
this mobster that I've been investigating for 4 hours of a movie time, and then I'm gonna like say that Alfred, who's lying half dead in the hospital, is a liar.
Mhm.
It's like really. I mean, this kind of feels like an Anakin Emperor kind of situation going on here. So
Yeah.
it's like some things that are natural, you know. But he's like, what? God, so stupid, dumbass. Anyway, all right, dude. Let's get one more look at what you're doing here, and then we'll call it. Let's see here. Oh, I like it, dude. I like it. Let's we're gonna do this. There we go. Let's remove my drawing and come on.
rest of
Solo layout. There you go. That is some tight work, dude. I love that. I can't tell you how much I love the oh god, what's that Simpsons space cartoon? You know what I'm talking about?
it. No.
Oh.
Oh, Futurama.
Yes, Futurama. I love the Futurama vibe. And look, you've got nice figures that are kind of square, but they're not terrible, like what Romita does. I also like the shadowing that you got around the kneecaps. That's cool. And I really dig the smoke that is between his legs there at the bottom. I
Right.
really like that vibe. That is nice. That is nice work.
Thanks, man. Thanks. It started to become passable the more I started working on it. You know, I was like, like I got like halfway through with the figure. I'm like, I'm like, just let me keep doing it. Let me keep doing it. Let me keep working at it. You know, let me just finish it. Let me finish the, you know, let me at least finish it. If I started it, let me finish it. You know, because that's
Finish
what's weird.
him.
Like I'll come back to something. It's like, oh, that turned out pretty good, but at the moment I don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll come back the next day and be like, oh, that came out pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's the way it happens, dude. Sometimes you need that fresh look in the morning when you come in there, like, oh wait, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna Instagram that. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, Dragon Pisces. I saw a thumbnail of a new DC lineup. I don't know if it's real, but then again, it's from a group of weirdos, so I think it's fake. The biggest problem is for me was the Catwoman character. She was so obnoxious, and then she had the infamous line. So I'm like, oh, it's easily the worst character. No, you're right. She was stupid.
Yeah,
And
she did put her in her place after that, though, too. She
yeah,
was like, blah, blah. And he's like, nah, because, like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay. So they kind of, like, you don't know what you're talking about, dumb lady.
no, you're right. Yeah, no, that's one of the things. My point, I did that video. Batman is not a woke movie. It's because of the fact that the character that's the villain says the woke thing, and as a result, you know, she gets defeated. So a lot of people, I think they misunderstand that, you know, I see this a lot in movies and TV shows, right? You can tell that the writers are trying to, you can tell that they're trying to advance a message, or they're trying to, you know, stick it to the man, or they're trying to, you know, be progressive and all, but then they draw a character like it's like it used to be, like when you have these gay characters and then they turned out to be villains, like in TV shows in the 90s or even in movies. It's like, oh look, we have more representation. I'm like, yeah, but the representation is of a psychopathic mass murderer. That's not the reputation you're looking for. And so so this Catwoman, you know, she might be representing that political point of view, but she's not the person you want to be representing that political point of view, because what you're doing is by associating her character with that view, you're saying that view is wrong, even subconsciously. So, but anyway, man, I really appreciate you hanging out. It's so much better when I got someone to talk with live.
Yeah, man, it's fun. I love these
rant
little streams.
like a crazy person. Go ahead.
I say I love these streams like this. So this is what I want to do all the time. So
Nice.
I'm gonna try and keep doing Tuesdays, man. So
okay. Yeah, I'll just randomly. You don't have to come on my stream if you're busy or whatever. I don't care. I don't get butt hurt like some people do. It's like, you're not my stream. What? I'm like, no, I don't care. It's like, if you can make it, you can make it. That's fine.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's how I am too.
But now I get to make up an outro and intro. I've got an idea. We'll see what I'll get it done this coming week. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us, and I will see you guys, Dragon Pisces, and everyone else who's watching. I'll see you next week. Take care. Have a good one.
Later, guys.